The small stage at the New Hampshire Community Music Fundraiser trembled under the warm golden lights, merging with the soft rock blasting from the speakers. Parents, kids, and seniors from the local crowd gathered in the open-air venue, holding soda cups and signs advocating for children's arts education. Behind the stage, a massive banner shimmered under the sun, boldly declaring, "Music for the Future." 17-year-old Jake, a proud libertarian, stepped onto the platform, an electric guitar slung across his shoulder like a warrior prepared for battle. From below, his friends cheered, "Go, Jake!" Without a second thought, he plugged into the amp, flipped the switch, and dove straight into his performance. Before we get into the full story, drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another wild moment. The second Jake's fingers touched the strings, a furious tapping sequence burst out, lightning-fast notes slicing through the air, blending with the amp's roaring distortion. His left hand raced across the fretboard, a machine of pure speed, while his right hand picked relentlessly. The younger crowd gawked, some shouting, "So cool!" A smirk tugged at Jake's lips as he threw in a seamless sweep-picking run, his fingers dancing over the strings like a gust of wind, producing a fluid yet fierce cascade of notes. He yelled over the music, voice defiant, "This is free music, way beyond that outdated conservative junk." His friends erupted in applause. A long-haired guy hollered, "Jake's the best," but some older folks simply nodded, unimpressed. One muttered, "Fast, sure, but nothing special." The claps were scattered, but then a ripple passed through the crowd. The back gate swung open, and in walked Karoline Leavitt, the White House press secretary and the event's guest of honor. She wore a crisp white shirt with the sleeves neatly rolled up, fitted jeans, and leather shoes dusted with road dirt. The second people recognized her, the energy shifted, cheers rang out. "It's Karoline Leavitt." Phones shot up, kids waved, and parents murmured, "She's here for the kids." Karoline returned their enthusiasm with a warm smile, nodded to the event organizers, and made her way toward the instrument display, where fundraising auction items stood on showcase. Jake caught sight of her and abruptly stopped playing, his brow furrowing as he watched her closely. She paused before a sleek black Fender Stratocaster, letting her fingers graze the body, as if testing the wood. One of the organizers grinned and handed her the guitar. "Give it a try, Karoline." She nodded, plugged into a small amp, and flipped the switch. A warm, unhurried note rang out, clean, controlled. A few onlookers nodded in appreciation. Jake sneered, turning to his friends. "Look at this MAGA chick. Bet she just talks big. Probably can't play worth a damn." His crew burst into laughter. "She's probably gonna strum some conservative country just to flex on Twitter." His voice wasn't exactly quiet. Nearby folks overheard, heads turning toward him. Karoline, mid-strum, glanced up. Her gaze locked onto Jake's, unbothered. She gave a small, cool smile, the same kind she probably flashed at reporters in the briefing room. With practiced ease, she tuned the strings, plucking another deep, sharp note. A murmur ran through the crowd. "She can actually play." Jake took a step forward, standing at the edge of the stage. "Hey, Leavitt. Think you're better than me?" His voice boomed over the soft rock from the speakers, silencing the crowd for a moment before an excited buzz stirred. Jake pushed further. "I challenge you to a guitar duel. Right here, right now, in front of everyone. You up for it, press secretary?" His friends roared in approval. "Take her down, Jake." The kids cheered, cameras lifted higher, flashes flickering like a digital thunderstorm. Karoline didn't flinch. Standing with effortless composure, she rested her hand lightly on the Fender's neck, eyes locked onto Jake's. She didn't answer immediately. Instead, she just smiled, sharp, assessing like a seasoned fighter sizing up an opponent. "A guitar duel?" she echoed, voice low but firm, cutting through the murmuring crowd. "Sure." With that, she stepped onto the stage. Her leather shoes clicked against the wood. She adjusted the strap over her shoulder, gripping the Fender with eerie calm. The crowd went wild. "She's in," someone gasped. An older woman leaned over to her friend. "That loudmouth kid's in over his head." Her friend nodded. Karoline doesn't play games. Jake's smirk widened, eyes blazing with challenge. You're toast, Leavitt. No way you last a minute against me. He twisted the amp knob, cranking the volume. A deep buzz roared from the speakers, mingling with the tension in the air. His friends howled. She's done. Wipe the floor with her, Jake. Jake turned to the crowd, arms wide. Who wants to see me crush this MAGA chick? The younger crowd roared, but some adults exchanged skeptical glances. A middle-aged man muttered to his wife, "Kid's cocky, but Karoline's no rookie." She smirked knowingly. Just wait. Karoline remained silent, unfazed. She positioned herself, fingers resting lightly on the fretboard. "You start," she said, voice steady, almost challenging. Jake's amp let out a deep rumble like an engine revving up. He spread his stance, gripping his electric guitar like a weapon. "Watch this, Leavitt," he bellowed. Then, without another word, he launched into a solo, a flurry of lightning-fast hammer-ons and pull-offs ringing out. The crowd watched in awe as his left hand tore across the fretboard, fingers blurring at inhuman speeds. His right hand picked aggressively, never missing a beat. The younger kid screamed, "Jake's insane." Smirking, he threw in a two-hand tapping run, hammering the high frets with his index and middle fingers, sending shrill, siren-like notes soaring through the air. With a dramatic flick of his wrist, he switched into a sweep-picking sequence, his fingers gliding like the wind through the strings, producing a cascade of rapid, fluid notes. His friends cheered wildly, fist-pumping. Leavitt can't keep up. But the older crowd just watched. A middle-aged man whispered to his wife, "Fast, sure, but there's no depth." She nodded, unimpressed. "Just noise." Jake didn't hear them. He was lost in his own world, where speed was king and he was its ruler. With a final dramatic bend, he yanked the whammy bar, making the guitar wail like screeching tires. Then he stepped back, arms crossed, triumphant. "There. That's freedom's music. Fast, strong, unbeatable." He shot Karoline a smug look. "Can you do that, Leavitt?" His friends cackled. "Bet she's shaking." But she wasn't. Instead, she stepped forward, adjusting her amp's volume, her fingers poised on the fender's neck. "Real music, huh?" she murmured, her voice slicing through the murmurs. "My turn." The crowd leaned in. Phones lifted higher. Jake's smirk twitched. Then Karoline struck the first note.